Thank you all for having me. My name's Hock. I am a previous artist and I'm starting to do boards. So for those of you, one that doesn't understand what previous is, or it's kind of like layout, what you guys do in animation. But besides previews and layout, I do other things on the side too. I have my own comics that I'm trying to do. I do sculpting, I paint watercolors. So this little things that artists like you guys like to do. A little more about myself. I went to the Academy of Art College in San Francisco. I think I graduated in 1998. Well, like many of you in diapers still, I believe. But I went to do animation. At that time, animation was still very in its early stage of development. Like our boxes, like our SGI boxes. Nobody heard of SGI now, but they were huge, and each one of them cost like maybe $150,000. But those were the times. And then after I graduated, I started getting into games. So the first company I worked for was SNK. They did King of Fighters. They did Samurai Showdown. Like, how many of game people still play it? Woo! Yeah.
Samurai Showdown.
Yeah. They're classic games, so they're still around. And but they sold the company. So after that, after SNK, after they sold the company to a pachinko company, I moved around a little, and I went to a Sony PlayStation down in San Diego. That was the PS2 and PS1 time. Like, how many of you ever touched a PS2? Yeah, you guys are hardcore. So that was the prime of PlayStation actually. Like PlayStation 2. Generally in PlayStation was making so much money for the Sony Corporation in general. It was probably the peak, better than now, better than PS4. Like, we have a lot of perks. We had parties on the aircraft carrier, like I believe it's the Midway that's parked in San Diego Harbor. So with fireworks and everything. But good times never last. And when we came in, when PS3 came in, so we took over everything. And Sony has downsized, and I was let go. And that's when I came up to LA. Start freelancing on commercials, and slowly start getting into film. So I was by training I was an animator. I also do some concept design. Just dabble on a little of like modeling. I also do lighting and rendering. So when you're freelancing, you tend to do a lot of different things. So from like modeling, lighting, rendering, even some character effects like hair, etc. So then that's when I start getting into more so-called previews. How many of you heard of previews? No? Anybody know? So basically previews, I'll just briefly show like some things that I've done. Like this is not productions. No, this the traditional stuff. Sorry.
Oh, so not this one?
No, the sculptures and comics that I've done. I'll just show some of my personal stuff.
Okay.
Thank you. So I do like sculpting on the side. These are not production, but I use maybe a Sculpey. It's a clay that you can bake in the oven, and it really hardens. And this is about this tall, and I cast it in latex. And that old man is actually inspired by, after sitting on a computer for too long. If you sit longer, you become somebody like this. So you walk around the room. This is an orc, like it's about this tall too. I also do comics. So this is it's a comic that I'm trying to get finished. It started like a couple years ago, more than a couple years ago. But I was trying to get a more wood cutting style, and then more even like film noir kind of look. A lot of contrasty shadows.
It's done on Photoshop, right?
Yes, Photoshop. So almost like the rake tool in Photoshop, and then getting that. I'm trying to get a little organic feel into the digital media. So this is one of my side projects, and I also do plein air painting. So I go paint like landscapes.
I think I may have closed it.
Oh, that's right. I think it's
Chinese opera
it's
rice.
traditional. I think.
Oops.
Traditional. So I mean, as an artist, I mean, it's always fun and when you have the chance, you either go out bring a sketch pad and you go draw people, draw buildings. But I like whenever I find free time, which is not a lot. I also teach a watercolor class, and I'll go out, find a nice scenery, and start painting either in oil or in watercolor. It's almost like meditation. You're just sitting there observing nature, and well, mostly nature, but and then a lot of it helps with your studies as well, because now you're studying like perspective, you're studying colors, you're studying how colors affect lighting affects colors, and just building composition in general. This is oil, just getting something down really quickly, by observation, etc. This is oils as well. This is watercolor. This is the Arboretum by Arcadia. So these are all the things that I do on the side, but professionally I do mainly, I still animate, and I do a little compositing, a little modeling on the side too, but mostly what I've done is pre-visualization. So back to the after freelancing in LA, I mean, after getting let go from Sony, I came up to LA, and I was in commercials, and then I at that time it was probably in like early 2000. There was a lot of people, I mean not a lot of people. There was this group of guys that worked with George Lucas on Star Wars. They were so-called the previous teams, and they came out. And after like working a couple of years with George Lucas, I mean, they really home in like the cinematography, the film knowledge. So what they did was, before they went out and shoot the whole Star Wars movie, they had this team of previous artists sort of block out the whole movie. The 3 movies actually in Maya. So they create all the shots using like simple geometries, blocking animation. But I mean, George Lucas was mainly looking for like the storytelling, the camera angles, and just to resolve a lot of the cameras, the story issues before they actually go out and shoot the final movie. So this is basically what previous is. So nowadays when you watch like any big budget visual effects, especially movies, I would say like all of them has gone through some stage of previews. So previews is mainly when the movie, they have a script, maybe a storyboards. The producers and the director, they will hire a group or a company, previous artists. They'll block out the movie in Maya really quickly. They may do different versions. They'll find the camera angles, they'll design a lot of the visual effects, whether it's car crashes, the choreography, the explosions, or if it's the Hawk, how would Hawk like crash through this building? How would he move? So, I mean, before previous was popular, I mean, you could still design a lot of action sequence. You could still body it out. You could explain it. But with previews, which is mainly a communication tool, you can the director is able to tell his team, this is what my vision is. This is how I expect Hulk to move. This is how I expect Iron Man to move. This is how he flies. This is how he shoots his laser. So all those has been done cheaply in Maya before they go into production. So now you can show that to the actors. You can show that to the production crew, meaning the film people that will be shooting this is how I want to light it. This is how I want the shoot to be. And if you need to green screen it, let's build a green screen. If you need VFX, let's get the VFX vendor to build this. And as well, like it's a great tool for the producer to budget the movie. So they'll show this to all his team. This is how we're managing this budget. So this amount of money you'll spend on this, 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 and this. So I'll show you an example that I did a while back on 2012. This was called Farewell Atlantis. At that time I was done at this company called Pixel Mondo. So you can see that it's the geometries is very simple. It's fairly simple. It's done in Max. I think my role was just a small part of this. There's probably like 8 other artists who work on these. But the goal is to. I think we had some boards. Like the directors had gave us some boards and the scripts, and then we'll work with the visual effects supervisor on designing something. Like this is what we want for the earthquake. This is what This is the earthquake is chasing this limo driven by John Cusack. I forgot who else.
John Cusack?
Yeah, and we'll show the final clip when it's done. And then the point of the goal of doing a good pre-release is you want to convey again what the director is envisioning, because this is the director's baby. He is the vision behind all this, and we want to talk to the director, see what he wants, what kind of lens that you think that would best express his story, best tell his story, and also you'll see some big visual effects sequences and shots. So how would this look when a bridge? You can, if there's no previous, you can still explain it with boards or just verbally. But with visual, what else better to explain all these cars tumbling down through even being made cheaply with fairly low res models. It's still able to convey to the team, to the VFX team, especially to the film crew. This is how we want it. And then there's a building crumbling down. Is that going to be practical? Is that going to be VFX? So it's a great tool, mainly a communication tool. So even this is not even game quality today. What we are going for is not to create a finished movie, but again to really sell whatever idea, whatever story that the director is trying to tell. And also besides previews, besides showing to the crew, a lot of filmmakers use this form of presentation as a pitching tool. Let's say you have a story, so instead of spending thousands and thousands of dollars to go shoot maybe even a short or a proof of concept, you can gather a bunch of your friends who know Maya or Max, and then you can just do your story, maybe part of your story, fairly cheaply and quickly in Maya, and bring it to the studio. This is what my story is about. This is the effect. This is the robot. This is how they move. This is what I think what was happening here too, because those of you who have seen 2012, it's a big budget movie. There's a lot of huge VFX sequence, and I think the producers were fairly. Even though Roland Emmerich, who directed the movie, he did Independence Day and the other big movies. They know it's a name movie, but somehow, it's a better means to control the budget. Say for example, this sequence is all these bridges crumbling down. But if you go to a studio executive, you tell them that, well, I'll need like 20 million to shoot this sequence, for example. What? You did 20 million to shoot a bridge crumbling down? Why do you need so much? But then if you tell them this is what I'm shooting, you show this movie to them, wow, audience will love all this explosion, then people being crushed by the bridge. Yeah, that's 20 million. So here's one of the purpose of doing what we call pitch V's. And this is the final movie, and you can see some resemblance to the final, and then there's some things that have changed into the previous, some things that have changed, of course. But for example, in this scene, when they're in the car, the actors are in a prop car in a booth in a green screen stage with people shaking the car. So when they, I mean, naturally as actors, the professionals, we know how to act, but it will give them some idea when you look at the previews. Now there's an earthquake chasing them. So now it's like, holy crap, there's an earthquake. Then we better hurry up and drive. And there's a sugar pouring in the face and get a donut running. I mean, imagine like before all this VFX have been done, it's really nothing. The actors are all shooting in a green screen stage, which you guys are familiar with. So we'll talk more about that scene of the cars crossing that down. So I'm still awed by like how artists are able to pull off like shots like this, and also the earthquake of this burning up LA. I mean, just looking at this, I mean, it looks so real, but I mean, when you think about it, all the work that has gone into just designing this shot, like they probably do a flyby of Santa Monica Airport, and they probably shot some plates to be used as a matte painting, and probably a lot of them shot practical smoke that's being placed in by the compositors. And here is probably CG of the runway crumpling, and all those being put together by the compositor. I mean, there's so much thought and process, cost money that was put into a shot like this. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So real. I mean, even after being in this industry for more than 10 years, I'm still amazed by how people pull off shots like this. But then again, it's being done a lot on every movie that you see. So that's basically the scene where all the cars were like tumbling down. Oh, the final movie, the 2012. The one we just watched.
Oh, okay.
Of the cars tumbling down. Somewhere in like last third of the movie. A little after that. But anyway, let's see, right after this, I think. But anyway, if you remember the scene of the cars like tumbling down when they
Was it before?
when they passes I think this garage. So like for example, as a producer and a director, they would say, oh well, the executive has approved and they're prepared to spend 10 million on this shot, this few shots. I'll say, okay, we'll decide what needs to be practical and how we want to light it. So we'll get the film crew. So you guys will be the VFX vendor. You will be doing all these CG cars in the CG building. You guys are the film crew. You guys will build a green screen stage, and we'll have a real limo, and we'll have hydraulic chugging cars at you. So the stunt people will drive the car through all these obstacles. And to get this shot, they actually built a giant green screen stage for that shot, like with all these cars coming down. So and then the actors, well, they cut it down. Well, you already have this pre-ease. You can see all these cars coming down. Now you have to react to to all these things that are happening. So I mean, it's a great communication tool, especially in a production that is like 400 or 500 people working on it, and just to unite their goal to share the director's vision. You want to see what the directors had in mind in terms of how he wants to tell the story. So it's a great tool to fairly effectively explain to like hundreds of people. And after working on this, I also work on Transformers 2 and
Revenge of the Fallen, you mean?
yeah, Revenge of the Fallen, and then plus other smaller movies, TVs. And then in like 2008, a friend told me that DreamWorks was hiring layout artists, and I started at DreamWorks and worked on How to Train Your Dragons on the first one. I didn't work on the second one, unfortunately, but worked on Cruise, on Kung Fu Panda 2, on Puss in Boots. As a layout artist, again, like layout artist is kind of like previews. The main difference between layout and previews is, for previews, your final product is that presentation movie, the movie that you saw, and that goes around to the different vendors, different people in the team. But for layout, I mean, most of you guys animation will know layout. You still use the same aesthetics, the same knowledge. You want to understand camera. You want to know how to, when and how to move the camera. You want to know how to compose a shot. To not only as to create an appealing composition, but also to direct your audience attention to where you want them to be looking at. Because now you're telling a story. Again, if this film is 1/24th of a second, you want them to be looking at the main actor. So how do you make your audience look at the main actor all the time? You don't want your eyes to be wandering here. You don't want them to be wandering here. So there are all these tools, compositional tools, storytelling tools, lighting that you can use to captivate your audience attention. So they won't be wandering around. And then once they start wandering around, I mean mentally, you start losing their interest. They're not interested in your story anymore. So that's the main purpose of layout. I mean, it's like doing comics. It's like doing storyboards. Well, that's 2D. But when it's in motion pictures, it's a little harder because now you have lens you have to deal with. So what kind of lens best tells your story? Like, because every lens has a psychological and physical properties to them, and you want to choose lens that helps compose a shot, helps tell the story, helps stage your shots. So it's the same kind of tools and knowledge and aesthetics. But then for layout in animation, your files actually travel downstream to the animators. So the animators will take your layout files and they'll start animating little things in your scene, and then it may go to lighting. They may start pre-lighting your scene. So once animation is finished, the lighters could start their lighting process. And then may go to effects. If there's effects in your scene, then your effects artist, after your layout is done, they can start doing effects in your scene. And so I'll show a couple of clips from from this movie Home that is coming out on the 27th.
April, right?
On the 27th of this month next year.
Yeah.
So you guys are the first few to see it. Let's do the sequence 500 first. Sorry. Again, like this. So the movie again, if you have not seen it, then I'll just let it play first. So you can notice like there's animation, but it's not finished animation. We didn't do any lip sync, but it's enough animation to carry the story forward. But we're mostly interested in the composition, the cameras, and how to move the story forward with each shot. So again the movie is about an alien race that came to Earth and took over the whole Earth and relocate every human beings into Florida. So and then this alien that you just saw, he's somehow he got himself in trouble, and now he's running away from his own people that's trying to capture him. And then he met this little girl that was hiding, which is supposed to be Rihanna. The alien was Jim Parsons. So, and then I'll show you the next clip that follows after this. So they were on how they met in a convenience store, and this is a semi-final lighting. And this is not finished. You'll see there's a lot of artifacts, a lot of stuff missing in the scene. But it's some little it's final animation, I think. Is there a way to up the volume? So this is my last project at DreamWorks before I was let go in, I think, May last year. So far, any questions? Yes, sir.
I'm kind of interested in previous and layout comps. What's the difference again?
So previous is mainly previous is mainly for live action, but mostly effects, special effects heavy movies. A lot of maybe there's a lot of explosions, a lot of robots fighting, a lot of like chases, a lot of
Kind of destruction stuff?
yeah, that you can't shoot them, and then previous will come in and do some of this sequence, choreograph some of this sequence, and do it cheaply in Maya, and we'll show it to the directors. Like it, they like it, they may not like it, or do changes. We may do like 5-10 versions of it. So the final product is just this movie that you just saw, like 2012. It's fairly low res, and the director or the producer will go take this to the different departments, like the film crew, and so this is what I want to do. But for layout, it's kind of the same thing, except that after we finish the layout movie, our files, our Maya files, will go downstream, meaning go to other departments. The animators will take our file and they'll start using the characters and they'll start animating them. Like you see, this is being animated by the animators, but the one that you last saw of the flying coming in, that was done in layout. Even though there's some animation, but it is a little more rough, less refined. It is not lit. So this one is lit and textured. So the files actually travel downstream, but that's just the difference in the technical process. the creative process is still the same. You still use, I mean, you use your compositional knowledge, your staging knowledge, of how you place camera, how you move cameras. So these are the main difference, but it's not a whole lot. So yes, sir.
Did you do any animation on Transformers the Ride in 3D for Universal Studios Hollywood or something like that?
No, I did not, unfortunately. But I did the Harry Potter one at in Florida. I did, there were 3 movies that I'm not sure if I have it in there, but the
Am I right, Florida?
yeah, I did. This one here. Again, like you can see that it's a very cheap because it's an early phase of the production. What we were trying to go for was the camera, how the camera moves, how the action plays out. Then the animators, the modelers, the lighters will take this and refine it, and then render really big movie. But if you ever go to Florida, this is one of the 3 movies that plays in a giant. I think it's probably an 70 millimeter projection screen that the audience will be seated on an animatronic chair that reacts to whatever that's happening on screen.
Oh, I know what you mean, like the one that with the Shrek ride. They used to have it. Shrek
Yeah. So I mean, you'll see like, imagine like when you're watching this, you are in this giant dome-shaped room, and your seat, like for like a lot of the rides, your seat will react to whatever you see on the screen. So if you float it up and again, it's very, the geometry is love. Can you imagine what the final will be?
Where have you been? The snitch! Come on, follow me! Showing off for your Muggle admirers, Potter? The Mentor! This way!
So this is one of the 3 movies at the Harry Potter theme park. They actually built not a life size but a replica Hogwarts at the Universal Studio, and then you just sit on a bench, chair that goes through this whole ride. I think this is probably the 2nd movie that you see. What was that?
There's the 3rd Prison of Azkaban.
Wow, you guys been there? I've never been there. So any other questions?
One right here.
Yes, sir. Sorry. Yes, sir.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. You said you worked on How to Train Your Dragon, right?
Yes, sir.
What particular scenes did you
I did the layout, so I didn't really any. But one of my favorite scene was when Hiccup first introduced his friends. Like he's behind a gobbler's shop, and he's looking at all these kids coming to doing all these cool things, and then Astrid come in with a bucket and he splashed I think there was the dragon just attacked the village, so she just took the bucket and splashed onto the fire and then create a big bomb, and she turns around in slow mo.
The beginning.
And like doing like, so that's one of the things I previewed when I lay out. Plus, one of the opening sequence when all the dragons were coming in. It was a long, like I don't know.
Oh, the first movie?
Yeah, first movie. So there were different dragons were attacking the village while Hiccup is narrating. So I did some of that. So yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like once, I mean I work on a lot of like not as as most projects are fun, but not all of them has that kind of. It's as rewarding as How to Train Your Dragon. It's one. You're lucky. I mean, for every 10 movies, you get to work one of them that well, I mean, you really felt that all this knowledge that you have learned, all this effort that you have put in, it's worth it because people really empathize with the story that that we collectively are trying to tell, of course, is the brainchild of the director. But then like you kind of sound lucky that you're able to work on a project like that. But 9 out of 10 you work on a little crappy project here, and but that this production pays the bill. So anybody else? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, do you work on the How to Train Your Dragon TV series?
No, I did not.
No?
No, that was done actually outside DreamWorks.
Oh, really?
By another studio. I forgot what they were called. And then I think they were sent out to Australia, and then probably part of it in China, and then sent back here. I think the main company is Nickelodeon, but DreamWorks helped direct the episode. Yes, sir.
Oh, cool.
What was it like working at DreamWorks?
It's a nice studio. It's one of the nicer places I worked at. I mean, you get free meals like breakfast, lunch, and it's a nice campus. It's if you guys have chance to visit there, I mean, it's a nice little, almost like a Spanish feel kind of campus, and plus they have done so many movies. They know how to manage their projects really well. You don't do a lot of overtime. So I mean, I have a family, so that's good for people like me. But then you get a little too comfortable, and so right now after getting let go from DreamWorks, I'm trying to adjust to the real world the real Hollywood world where you work like 10-hour days, 12-hour days sometimes. But again, that's also a fun part because you get to do a lot more production, and it's really more fast paced. But still, like DreamWorks, I would definitely go back to DreamWorks if I can, because I mean, hopefully, I'm not sure if you guys heard, like the movies are not doing well.
Yeah.
And hopefully they'll pick up someday.
On the second Transformers movie, how much did you work on that?
I was I went on near the end of the previews, probably like was on it for like 3 months. I did what's the sequence? I did some of the sequence where they were dropped into Shanghai, which was actually shot in Long Beach, but they were trying to make it look like Shanghai. And
There's a Megatron file right here. Is that part of it?
Yeah. I'm not sure what is it. Like you play it. It's not taking into my file, Santos.
What?
I was kidding.
While we're waiting, could we look at some other clips?
I do Q&A too. Sorry, what's coming?
Oh, did you work on any of the White Sands scenes at the end?
White Sand.
Like the ending with all the ruins where they were in Egypt, but it was filmed in White Sands.
No, actually not. But I work on the one where there's this asteroid that came in. This was actually cut from the. You picked something that was cut. This asteroid that fell in, and it became this panther. And this panther went into I think it was Camp Pendleton, and it dropped some microbots into one of the bunker, and then it became this razor theme.
That cougar thing that dropped the little balls in that pipe.
Oh, you mean the animal robots?
Yeah,
robots?
Yeah.
And he stole the piece of
The shard.
Megatron, the shard, and then stole it and rebuilt Megatron. So I did that sequence. Yes, sir.
Did you in the Transformers film? Did you work on that scene with the drill robot in Egypt?
No, I didn't. I missed that
Rampage?
Yeah.
part. No, I missed that part. So, but I work on not only for 3 months. Most of the other guys they worked on it for like I think a year. So I was brought in at the last minute to finish up some sequence. Yes, sir.
You said you worked for PlayStation, right?
Yes, sir.
Is there any particular game company you work for?
So the division I worked in was a service group. So we mainly service different Sony production, Sony projects. We do a lot of mocap. We do a lot of cinematics. So one of the a few of them are fairly big. So I work on I think almost all the SOCOM series. Anybody play SOCOM before? Maybe series?
My brother did.
Yeah.
Where's that?
It was pretty big back then, and then I worked on one of the
It's like a shooting.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
shooting game.
Yeah.
It's a Navy
I
SEAL
played
game.
it.
Yeah, it's a pretty big at the time, and I work on a couple of Killzone like cinematics, PSP one, and what else? Some ATV, MLB.
Oh,
and
and
then-
TV, I played that a bit.
Yes, sir.
Which PS2 games do you work on?
Which ones? Oh, I think a lot of the ones that I mentioned, PS2, like all the SOCOM one, the PS2. Work on so the ATV one was PS2. I work on some even when Sony had the license for NFL. I work on some Game Day and some Final Four. I mean, they're no longer around, but those are PS2 titles. ATV.
Yeah, I played ATV off Road 3 too.
Yeah.
On my PlayStation 2.
Right. So ATV, I mean, it was pretty big actually, ATV, and what else? I don't know, I think I work on like over 20 titles, little things here and there, because it's a service group. You get to work a little bit on each game, not each game, like
It's mainly sports games, right?
Yeah, mainly sports. Well, Killzone is more shooting, and, but it was, I was there for about 6 years. I was the lead animator on some of these projects, mainly cinematics. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
On the PSP games, did you work on Grand GTA games as well?
GTA, no, that's Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
That's a 2K game, so
Oh.
so we didn't work on that. Unfortunately, I would love to work on it.
Yeah, cause
Yeah.
it's cool.
Yeah. I love the GTA game. Yeah.
Me too.
What number are they at? Number 5?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So anybody else?
One more question.
I guess I got one.
Yes, sir.
Did you ever work on this one game called Fur Fighters? It was on PS2.
No. What is it about?
It was like a little shooting game kind of, but like you're all animals. It's like really kind of funny.
Sounds fun. No, I never worked on it. Yeah, animals and it's a shooting game.
Yeah, it's like
That's
cartoony.
a cool combination.
Yeah, it was originally for Dreamcast. Later made a sequel on PS2.
Oh yeah. Cool. Nice. Maybe I'll look it up. Anybody else? Questions?
Thanks for coming, Hock.
Hey, thank you.